Yo everybody, my name is Star and I am back on the TimeShot server, and today we've got a very montagey kind of episode for you. Now Winter has worked more on her build, I think. Before I move on to what I'm actually meaning to record about, I wanted to show you this. So if you guys remember, especially if you watch my streams, I had like a little, I don't know, 4x4, maybe not 4x4, like 3x3 area to keep my animals in. I've gained a few animals. Obviously I have my cats here and you guys saw my dogs and stuff earlier, so I have quite a lot of animals here. But somebody, I'm guessing Code, I think it's Code, has put a boat in and some water in, and he's left a sign saying, "This looks like a football, the American kind, Code." Or possibly an egg. Or maybe a stretched oval. Well, today, thank you for the sign and the expansion of my animal pen, Code. They're all gonna have a home very soon, a decent home. But today, we're gonna turn this oval, egg-shaped thing into a real build. I promise you, a real build. That is right. Today is finally the time that I work on my, my big build, my spawn build. I'm going to be working on at least the exterior for this. I don't know when the exterior is going to be finished. I've actually got a lot coming up in the next couple of weeks, so I'm pre-recording a couple of episodes to go out while I am away and busy. But I'm going to be building the exterior, and because it's going to be quite a long process, I'm going to have to be flicking back and forth between my creative world, which I've got open on a separate Minecraft on my other screen. I'm going to be probably montaging this all together, but you guys can at least see the overall build process. So yeah, let's get started with my build. Let's go. This montage to bring you, oh no, I ran out of dark oak wood. You might have seen very briefly in the sped up footage dithering whether to take the last couple of logs from the community chest, but I've decided that other people are going to also need dark oak wood. What is this? What is Oh, hello. Other people are probably gonna need a dark oak when they build, so I figured I would go and get like a bunch of it and bring it back. I have very little chicken left, so I grabbed a stack of zombie flesh because I do not have time for getting loads of other food. So we're gonna live off zombie flesh as we go and get it. It should be a fairly quickish boat ride just along the coast here. It shouldn't be too bad. So we're just gonna boat on over there and look for the rooftops. But I kind of want to talk a little bit about, I don't know, I know I wanted to talk about something on the way there, like a little topic of discussion. Oh gosh, what was that? What was that noise? That wasn't a bunny, was it? Is that... Why does it sound like all my animals are dying? Hello? What is going on here? Okay, I don't know what is happening. I don't know what... Is it when I... It's like that one specific that's weird. Oh my gosh, I hope my animals are okay. That's very strange and I don't know why that's happening to me. Let's just move on from that. Let's talk about self-confidence. Why not? Self-confidence. What a great topic to talk about. It's quite... Oh, is this a ravine? Hello, ravine. This is quite relevant to me at the moment because I graduated from university in June, so just a couple of months ago, and so I'm on the hunt for jobs. I am on the hunt for jobs, and boy oh boy is that a worse nightmare for someone who lacks a lot of self-confidence. Now a lot of people don't think that I lack self-confidence because I'm quite outgoing and I'm quite chatty, and I don't know, drama student means that I'm kind of used to being front and center and of stage and camera and things like that. And so a lot of people expect me to be quite confident. And as a matter of fact, I am very, very not confident in the slightest. A lot of people think I'm outgoing, a lot of people think I'm confident. I'm actually quite shy and I actually have a lot of, not a lot of self-esteem. I really struggle with kind of believing that I'm going to succeed at something, and I struggle with thinking that not that I'm good at things that I do, but that I'm better than other people. So for example, video editing. I've been video editing since I was 13, and I've been using professional industry standard software since I was, yeah, probably 13 as well. 13, maybe 14, but probably 13. And I was head of post-production and head of tech at the society, at the students' union in my university, and we did a bunch of commissions for people, and people ended up ditching people that they were hiring and asked us to do stuff and things like that, and, you know, I came second place in a national film competition, and, you know, loads of things like that, which should really make me think, yo, maybe I'm actually kind of good at this video editing thing. And, you know, a lot of the subscribers and following I gained in the early days of YouTube was because of my video editing and the projects I did with video editing. But I just completely lack the confidence in the slightest to put myself forwards. For example, commissions-wise, I say that I'm open for commissions, and actually quite a lot of the time if people kind of ask me if I can do something, I always think, oh, I know I can't do that, or I think, you know, I make up an excuse and say I'm busy, even when I'm not, just because I feel like maybe someone else could do a better job, and I don't want to make a fool out of myself. And it's kind of a case of, my mum mentioned this not so long, is this going to be closed off by Mesa? Hopefully not, hopefully that's just an island there. My mum mentioned a very interesting way of describing it a while ago, whereas men think that if they can do 90% of the job, they'll pick up the other 10% along the way. This is a very vast generalization, but I think it rings quite a bit of truth in a lot of situations, but generally, very, very generally, men think if they can do 90% of the job, then they'll learn the other 10% as they work. And women think if they can't do 10% of the job, then there's no point in even trying because they can't do the whole job. And at least for me, personally, that rings very, very true. I feel like if there's even the possibility that I could, like, mess up on something or not do something perfectly, then I wouldn't accept a job, or I try to pass it on to someone else and things like that. Whenever people tell me that I'm, like, top of my field or very good at what I do, I'm really bad at accepting compliments. I think that's a big thing that I struggle with, and people have told me that before, like, just accept the compliment, and I feel like I'm boasting or bragging or lying if I'm accepting the compliment, because it just isn't true to me. It's like me telling someone someone, you know, it's like me telling you as a viewer, you are the Queen of England. You are like the Queen of England to me, even though I might hardly know you. And it's like, well, you know, part of you's like, oh, I'm flattered that you think that, but also that's not true because you hardly know me and it's all kind of lies. That's what I feel like. And I guess this is a form of imposter syndrome, which I meant to read into imposter syndrome a little bit more, but it's the kind of thing where, you know, you feel like people see you as better than you actually are, and you feel like you don't deserve praise, or a lot of the praise that you get, or you don't deserve a lot of the good things that you might have as a result of the hard work you do. And I think YouTube has definitely helped me with my confidence and with my skills, because I feel like the kind of feedback and growth that I get from things makes me feel like I'm actually doing something right, and makes me actually feel, hey, maybe I'm not so bad at this whole thing after all. But for the most part, I just lack self-confidence such a large amount, and it's not self-confidence in a people way. It's not self-confidence in a, oh, I can't talk to people way, or I'm really scared in crowds kind of way. Like, I'm fine talking to people, I'm fine in crowds, and that's partly why I got so involved in drama, because I never found it too difficult to do those sorts of things. But the things that I struggle with are actually genuinely telling people about myself and why I would be good for a job, or why I am a cool person because of the... Is this a flower at the bottom of the ocean? Oh, it's an arrow. Huh. That's weird. I thought it was a flower. Let's move on. But so this is something which I then in turn struggle with quite a lot when I'm going for job interviews and things like that. I really, like, I'm fearing the day I get the question, like, tell me about your strengths, because while I can think of some of the strengths that I have, I'd feel so difficult explaining them and elaborating on them, just purely, oh, that was a sandbank, purely because I feel like I'd be boasting, or I feel like it would be lying, even if it's not, even if lots of people have told me that it's true. I really struggle with my looks. I struggle a ton with my appearance, and people, no matter how much someone tells you, and if you suffer from a similar thing, then you'll know this very well, but no matter how much someone tells you, don't think about that, don't think about yourself like that, you're fine, or please, you know, you're actually really, really good at this, or you're actually really, really nice looking, don't think about that way. It's difficult to just snap out of it. If someone, it's not like someone will say, don't think about it like that, or don't think about yourself that way, and you're like, oh, you're right, okay, I'm good now, I won't think about myself like that anymore. It doesn't really help just to tell someone, no, you're pretty, don't worry about it, because it's like, well, if it was that easy, then I'm sure I wouldn't still be struggling with these thoughts of inferiority and things like that. So, like, it kind of ties into TimeShot a bit. I loved the thought of TimeShot shortly after I learned a lot more about it, after meeting Win and Poet at Minecon last summer, and I really liked the idea of it. And I was, you know, I've talked about this previously in one of my a few episodes ago when I was kind of doing my introductory episode, but I was really like, yo, it's been a while since I've been in an SMP server, and I'm actually really interested in the idea of being in one again. You know, I am actually really keen about this, but part of me was like, but will I even get on? Will I even have a chance? And at the time, when I was initially having these thoughts about joining TimeShot, I'm really glad that I held off, because my channel was still developing, and I was going into my third year of university, and it was a really good time for me to be able to learn how to balance doing YouTube with university, with a really, really busy life. But at the same time, I shouldn't have held off as long as I did, I don't think. I'm really glad, kind of, at the time that I held off until, because joining for the reset, where is the I think the jungle, the forest is kind of around this coast here, because joining just before the reset was great, because as I've kind of said in previous episodes, it's nice to join at a fresh time where everyone's, you know, rejuvenated with interest, and everyone's on, and everybody's got these new ideas that are building, and I don't feel lost in a spawn that's had, you know, a good couple of years to sort of grow into something. So I really felt good about the time that I joined, but at the same time, it took me so long to get up the guts to apply, because I genuinely did not think I was good enough in the slightest. I was looking at, and it's not about a numbers thing or a views thing, although I was still kind of unhappy with my views, but they were steadily increasing, so I wasn't too unhappy. But it wasn't about a numbers thing or a views thing. It was mainly because I just felt like the quality of my content wasn't as professional or as good as others. I felt like it wasn't as interesting. I felt like it wasn't as frequent, because I wasn't posting, like, every day or every other day a lot of the time. You know, there'd be a week or two where I'd only post 1 or 2 videos a week, just because I was so busy with my studies. And when you think about it, it's like, well, you know, I should cut myself some slack. I'm, you know, in my final year of my degree, I'm doing all this society stuff at university, I'm socializing with friends, and I'm managing to do YouTube. But at the same time, I was just looking at other people's videos, like, there is no way I could even come close to matching up with these guys. And I really, am I going the right way? Where am I right now? You know what? I should have gone through the jungle. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I don't know where I am, but it's not anywhere good. I'm looking at a map, and it's not a good map. No, it's a good map, but I'm getting lost. I think I know where I am, though. I think I basically need to go this way. But I held off for so long for applying. I probably could have applied, I don't know. I mean, I'm being presumptive, and I might sound a bit, this is even me now. I'm even assessing what I say now, because I feel like I'm going to be cocky by saying it. But I don't think my channel and content changed enough between 2 months before I applied and when I applied that would have harmed my chances of getting in. I think if I'd applied 2 months earlier, I probably, I'm saying this kind of presumptively, but probably would have got in. But I held off for so long purely because I just really did not feel like I had the guts to. I didn't feel like I had the content that was good enough, and I did not feel like, you know, I wasn't worried about not fitting in, or I wasn't worried about, you know, not trying to fit in, because I knew that I wanted it so badly, but I genuinely just didn't think that I was going to be good enough. I didn't think I was going to have good enough content, because I'm sure they've turned away people who have great content, but just, you know, they didn't think would fit. And I was, like, analyzing all of my content, and I was worried about every single bit of my content not fitting in. Oh gosh, I hear you, Skelly. Can I just, sleep before you come and attack me? Please, 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 please. Please sleep, please sleep, please sleep. And... please? There we go. There we go. Alright, let's go here, and we should find the oak forest just on the other side of this jungle. And I was just analyzing my work, and even when I applied, now when I applied, I told a few people that I'd applied. I didn't tell anybody, basically, except for really, really close friends when I got accepted, but I told a few people when I applied. I told my, Patreons that I'd applied, just because I like giving them the insights. Oh, hello, friend. I like giving them the inside scoop on things. I told a couple of close friends, Edson knew, because Edson's a really close friend of mine, and he's a part of TimeShot, and I felt like I should, you know, he would know anyway by reading my, oh gosh, this lag. I've heard about the server being a bit laggy recently. Hopefully I do not die, to it. That would be very unfortunate. But I told him about it because I knew he'd find out in a little bit anyway, so I figured I might as well tell him. And I was just telling him how much, I didn't think I was gonna be good enough, and I'm like, I don't even know. As soon as I applied, basically, and he will confirm this, that, like, almost as soon as I applied, I was like, why did I apply? This is a mistake. Oh my god, I'm not gonna get accepted. I'm just gonna be really sad about it. I wasn't gonna be sad in a way that it was like, oh, my friends are rejecting me, because I would have understood being rejected. I think it was just my own confidence in terms of my content, because I kind of felt like I was ready, and it's like, it's so rare for me to feel like I'm ready for anything, and if I felt like I was ready and then wasn't accepted, I would have felt so, like, I don't know, downbeaten about it for at least, you know, a week or so. So I was so freaking out that I would not get in. Oh, and I explained this to him, and I explained this to a couple of other people, and you know, everyone was telling me, like, you know, I'm really confident about you. I think you've got a great shot. I'm so excited about this. I think you'll do fine. I think you'll be surprised. And I was like, nope, I'm not getting in. It's not going to happen. I'm scared. Oh my gosh. And this is the kind of thing that I always feel about applying for things like this, and this is the kind of thing I feel about applying for, say, jobs as well. I feel like I'm not going to get a job. Why would they hire me when they could probably hire, you know, dozens of other great people? And, you know, people are like, no, but you have these, and you've done this, and you do YouTube, and you have all these skills in this software, and all I can think of is, no, but other people always have it, you know, always do it better than me, or always have it better than me. And I'm really trying to get out of that mindset, because I tell other people off for thinking this way, which is so hypocritical of me, but, you know, it is an unhealthy mindset mindset to have, because yes, there are always going to be people in the world who are better than you. With billions of people in the world, how is there not going to be people who are better than you? But in this time, in this place, applying for this job, or talking to this person, you know, you might be the best person the best person that applies. And you never know, and you might be surprised. And that rhymed a little bit, huh? And I think it is important to take risks and... Oh, go away, zombie, please. Go die, please. Thank you. I dropped a carrot. I think it is important to take risks. And I think that's something which I'm not very good at, taking risks. Because I tend to, again, my self-confidence tends to get the better of me. But if you don't take risks in life, then, you know, what's the worst that can happen? And I kind of had to convince myself to apply just by going over the what's the worst that can happen. And it helps to talk over someone with it. So I talked over a couple of people with it. You know, what's the worst that can happen? And it's like, what's the worst thing that could happen? And it's like, I get rejected. That is actually the worst case scenario. Because, you know, what else could happen? It's not like they're going to publicly, you know, post and be like, look, Star tried to apply for TimeShot and she wasn't successful. Let's all laugh at her. Like, that's never gonna happen, obviously, because these guys are way too nice. But... you know, if realistically, the worst that was going to happen is that I wouldn't be accepted. Which, you know, I'm not accepted, that's what happens, that's the deal. And I kind of began to make a sort of peace with that. I was kind of like, okay, well, what does it mean if I don't get rejected? How am I going to feel about that? I'm going to feel really crappy about my content. Well, you know, there will be a reason why I'm rejected, and I'm pretty sure it isn't because they think that I'm a horrible person or a horrible content creator, because I've collabed with a bunch of these guys, and I talk to a bunch of these guys on a regular basis. So it's not like they're going to think I'm a completely terrible person that they don't want anything to do with, because if that was the case, they would have stopped talking to me a long time ago. So I managed to tell myself that it wouldn't be too much of a reflection on myself as a person, so I wasn't too worried about that. I was more worried about the reflection it would have on my content. And even that, I was kind of like, well, you know, they have such a variety of content creators all doing different styles. And if I am not accepted, then, you know, and someone's telling me that you get, you know, feedback as to why you're not accepted, so at least I'd know why. And if it was something that I could work on, then that's great. It's like failing, you know, a driving test and getting feedback on it. It helps improve yourself as a driver. So no matter what would happen, worst case scenario, get rejected, there'd still be a positive that I would get feedback on why I wasn't accepted, and then I could make improvements towards making myself a better content creator. So in the end, it was things like that. It was reasoning with myself like that. It was picking the worst case scenario and talking about why it wasn't actually that bad, and why that should be a good enough amount of wood. That's over. Yeah, that's good. I shouldn't need more than, oops, that placed a bed. I shouldn't need more than a stack, I imagine, so I can give the other stack and a half to spawn. But it was just a case of talking myself through the worst case scenarios, and then I finally took the leap. And I think it was purely because I was talking to Winter about something else completely unrelated, I'm pretty sure. And I was just kind of like, because, you know, I knew I was going to ask Winter at some point, and I was just thinking, like, when? Oh my gosh, when am I going to do this? And it was actually a time just before I was going away for Zeldathon, like a week or two before. So I was like, you know, this application process, I probably wouldn't want to follow through with all of it until I'm back from Zeldathon anyway, which is what I ended up doing. But I kind of wanted to do the initial, hey, I'm interested in joining kind of thing. So I messaged Winter, no, she messaged me, I think, I can't even remember what it was about. It was just something completely different. And I sort of slipped it in, like, oh, by the way, I'm interested in joining TimeShot, how do I do that? I just sort of awkwardly threw it in, like, oh, hey, by the way. And it just took it from there. And it's all about just taking that deep breath and being like, you know what, let's just go for it. Not overthinking it. I did not overthink it. I probably didn't overthink it in the slightest, because I think it was a really awkward sort of, oh, by the way, kind of slipped into conversation. But it's best to just not overthink these things. It's like asking someone out on a date, or telling someone that you like them. Like, you can spend, you can spend hours, days, weeks, months agonizing over a crush and deciding whether to tell them you like them or not. And you could spend months and months doing that and never get anywhere, never tell them that you like them. And then what's the point? You've been agonizing it for months and months. If it is something that is eating into your mind that much on a weekly or a daily basis, it's, in my opinion, it's definitely worth something that you should pursue, or it's something that you need to, like, it sounds kind of blunt, but get over. It's the kind of thing where, like, okay, so say I had a crush on someone and I agonized over them for months and months, being like, oh, I wish they liked me, I don't know if they like me or not, I want to ask them on a date, but I don't know if they like me and I'm too shy. Well, you can do one of two things. You can either get over, you know, one of two things which will actually help to improve the situation. You can just agonize over them for the rest of your life, but then what's that going to do for you? You're gonna be in that one-track mindset in between, not knowing if they like you or not, and kind of waiting for something to happen and waiting for them to make the first move. But if they don't, you're going to be stuck in that limbo position forever. So you could do one of two things to help improve the situation. I mean, you could hope on luck and do nothing, but in my opinion, if you want to make an affirmed decision as to whether the situation will be improved or not, you tell them. You tell them. If they reject you, then you move on. It's as simple as that. You know, I think no matter how heartbroken you might be, if it's someone who doesn't even want to date you in the first place, then, you know, what's the point in being agonizing over them? It wasn't meant to be, and that's that. There's people who are like, but they could have been the greatest love of my life, and it's like, well, they're not, and you just got to accept that and move on and make the best out of the rest of your life, and you might come across someone even better. So there's the whole, you know, just going for it, diving in and asking them, or you've just got to get over it, as blunt as that sounds. You've just got to kind of move past it. And, you know, again, it sounds very blunt, but that's one of the healthiest things you can do if you don't have the guts, or you're not willing to just go for it. If you really don't think there's a chance, you are gonna have to move on. And that's the best way to, you know, just have an improved life. And I am a hypocrite for ranting about this. This kind of turned into a little bit of a rant and a bit of a deep conversation. I'm so sorry about that. But if you want to live a happier life where you go for more things and get more things accomplished and feel better about more things, then you do just have to take some risks sometimes and go for things. And it's good to weigh up the pros and cons. I'm not saying just go for everything, because, you know, that turns into recklessness, and recklessness can turn into negatives as well. But I think it's important to go for things sometimes if you assess the situation and make sure that you're not going to be doing anything dangerous. And if things don't go the way you want them to, then that's okay. That's fine. So many times in life, things don't go the way you want them to. But you can always learn something from them if you're willing to learn from them. I guarantee it, you will always learn something. But only if you're willing to learn. If you're going to sit in ignorance and not learn anything and try and do the same things over and over again, then we're going to have a problem. But if you're willing to look at the reasons that it didn't work, or the mistakes that you made, and, you know, learn from them, then we're going to have a better time with life. This went off on a bit of a weird tangent, not one I was expecting it to go off on. But I think it's all kind of to do with, and all relates back to confidence. If I didn't go for TimeShot, then I'd be watching the reset happen with all my friends, and I'd be thinking, what if I'd applied to this? And, you know, maybe I'd move on from it. But even if I moved on from it and was perfectly happy not being on TimeShot, I wouldn't be here now in this boat, on this server, on this beautiful sunset day, cape straight out, 90 degrees from my body. I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be recording this episode. I wouldn't be going back to build my spawn base on Spawn in TimeShot. I wouldn't be hanging out and recording with all these great people and, you know, chatting with them on a daily basis. And I wouldn't be, you know, so honored by the incredible amount of support that all of you guys have given me, because it is incredible. It is absolutely phenomenal, the amount of support that I've got from you guys. I'm a very small beans channel. I'm one of those kind of channels that tends to have quite a lot of subscribers and not necessarily views to match up to that at all. But you guys have really made me feel special with all of the comments and, you know, the likes and the views, and just generally messages on, there we go, my boat, and messages on Twitter, and I've got private messages being like, I'm so happy you joined, you know, you're really making this fun, and things like that, because that really makes me feel like I'm doing something right. And even when I took the plunge and the courage to apply, there's still a part of me that was like, what if I'm accepted and people don't like me? me or I don't fit in. And that was always going to be a worry for me up until like a few episodes in when I'd settled into the community more. And you guys have really made me feel so at home. And I love hearing and from new faces who subscribe to the channel and they're like, I didn't know about you before now and now I do and I really like your videos. Like that warms my heart so much and really makes me feel like I did the right thing by taking a leap of faith joining TimeShot here. So thank you, I guess, and I can't wait to hear from more of you. Like, people commenting on my videos make my day, like, so much, because I don't get a ton of comments, so when I do get comments, I try to respond to all of them, and I just love every comment that I get. So it makes me happy that this is such an active community where people are, you know, a lot of the time commenting and things like that. Because comments above likes and views are the most important thing to me on my channel because they tell me if I'm doing things right or doing things wrong. And, you know, anything interesting that people liked or anything that people didn't like so much. Oh, there's a creeper on top of my base. I should have lit that up there. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is going to be a problem. This is going to be a big, big problem. Get off of here, dude. Get off of here. Thank you. Oh, noes. Oh, noes. I thought mobs didn't spawn on, half slabs. I guess I was wrong. Well, I can light up a little bit of it, but I don't have any mini torches. Anyway, I am going to get back to building this. I'm going to be building all of the walls and stuff, and then I'll explain a little bit about the build. And then I will see you guys, when I'm done with this. But anyway, cutting back to the sped up footage. Alright guys, alright. Ignoring this hole here where I want to put sea lanterns eventually. I might put glowstone or something there for now. And ignoring the fact that this interior is very, very ugly. We will ignore that for now. My exterior to my shop is pretty much done, I think. So I've got this, let's take that sign and let's put it out there. But I claim this shop made a little bit from the outside. So stars, sick beats, records, and jukeboxes. So obviously my shop is not yet open because I don't have all these stocks together just yet. But the exterior is finally done after all this time, after being on this server for a couple of weeks and everybody else is getting all their builds up and running. I finally got mine as well, so I'm gonna put a stocks not yet in, come back later. There we go. There we go. So, yeah, there's gonna be some sort of lantern or glowstone here. I've got some flowers and jukeboxes that you cannot hear because there's leaves on top for Edson's benefit. I've got this thing open. Obviously, these animals are gonna be moving at some point, but I've got this nice open entrance here, and I'm gonna have a little path going here as well. I could do a path now, I guess. I could do that, so it just leads into it. In fact, maybe I'll do the whole, there we go. I'll do the whole path, so it leads into it. And the interior, we have these doors to open this. There is going to be a counter here. There's going to be records on one side. There's going to be jukeboxes for sale somewhere as well. I might even do an upper floor. I kind of have a design idea for some musical notes all along this, but I'm going to work on it a bit in single player, and then I'll probably get back to you guys because I love designing interiors. But I'm really pleased with this design. I think it looks quite nice, and I'm hoping it fits with the spawn theme quite well. I've got all these stair layers on the outside and all of these columns of bone. And I've got all of these wooden stairs sort of at the base of the columns too. And it's kind of record shaped. I've lit up the roof. So hopefully mobs don't spawn in there. Hopefully it isn't an issue. I might have to light it up a little bit better. Like Fabe's got his on there. I might even do like a glowstone-y note on top of it, like a musical note. I'm not entirely sure yet. But that is the basic gist of my spawn done. This is probably going to end up being a long episode because I ended up talking about, while I was traveling for wood a long way. So it might be a bit of a long episode along with the montagey things, but I hope that's been enjoyable for you guys. A little bit of building, a lot of talking, a little bit of adventuring out. And my shop will be open for business very soon. I need to get some more records. I'll do a bit of grinding for that off camera. If anyone on TimeShot has any records they don't want, by the way, I want to donate to stocks, be my guest, because I still only have 1 blocks, 1 strad, and 1 weight. I've got 2 of everything else at least, and I have 1 jukebox, but I have quite a few diamonds, so I'm ready to make some more. But I do have lots of CDs, and yeah, this is gonna be starting up very shortly. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you think about the build, because I don't build that much, so I'm kind of curious as to how this turned out, or if you guys have any advice maybe on how to improve it, or what to do next time, or something like that. It is gonna change a little bit, obviously. This is just the bare foundation of it, but I'm glad that the building is finally up at the very least, and all of this garbage and all these chests will be moving at some point soon as well, because I don't want chests littering everywhere outside of my spawn house. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!